Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We're live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is the spot. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. Happy Festivus. Big 3-hour program lined up today. Longtime Vegas odds maker Nick Bogdanovich in 30 minutes. Get his thoughts on the college football quarterfinals coming up. J.R. Starkus, he's going to make a holiday cocktail. It's very easy. He's been in the studio several times. With Christmas here, New Year's next week, you can make it for your friends, family, at a get-together, and blow them away. Paul Stone, Best Bets College Football in 90 minutes, and Randy McKay on the show, professional gambler Pauly, in 2 hours. A lot of things to get into with him. He loves betting lower-level college football, but also you're telling me that he has been able to, let's say, manipulate drawings in the past to win a car?
He's won, I want to say, 9 car drawings. And
9?
I think at least 9. And then you can either take the vehicle or just take cash. And he did a great video with Krakenberger about how you can manipulate your drawing. Here's what they have here at Circa. They have, it's just a small raffle ticket, but they used to be bigger. But I think it's fascinating how it's not even like David Stern with the Knicks with the frozen envelope, but how you can manipulate it in different ways where it's advantageous, or the person will draw your ticket out of the draw. Why has he won so many, right? So he's a sharp cat. Can't wait to get into that. I saw the video months ago. I'm like, this is phenomenal.
I did not see that video. I can't wait to talk to Randy about this because I'm going to go in fresh. And just based on what you were saying, minds are going to be blown, I think.
Yes.
Like last night with the game.
Last night.
Game plan from the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
That was Shane Steichen elected to take a water pistol into a bazooka fight. What are you doing, man? You think that you could not adapt right away with how the defense was playing against Brock Purdy and this 49ers machine on offense now? I get it. Phillip Rivers, tip my cap, man. Look good. So Steichen, designing that kind of a game plan against a pretty weak 49ers defense overall, that can only take you so far because clearly, Pauly, anybody watching the game last night knew that they were not going to get any stops on this 49ers offense. And then it just throw any chance of getting Jonathan Taylor involved out the window last night.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. I thought it would go back to shorten the game and limit the possessions and ground and pound, but they also stacked the box and wouldn't let Taylor go off. I can't believe you have a 44-year-old quarterback who can't move. Like all time, cannot move. And he doesn't blitz till the third quarter. I was shocked by that. But
maybe he just thought that the dinking and dunking was not going to do anything against them. But again, clearly it was.
Yeah.
And they were not even dinking and dunking last night. Like he was getting the ball down the field.
Well, how about that? That's the first time in his career he scored a touchdown on a free play. I couldn't believe that. That blew my mind how long Rivers has played and how many touchdown passes. But they might be the 1 seed. They have a great coach. They have a phenomenal offense. But boy, that defense is bad. And how the old man picked them apart. And they pulled him early. Of all games, this is the game that had all the crazy props cash. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. And if they keep Rivers in there till the end, Rivers, 150 yards passing each half, was 60-1. Rivers and Purdy to combine for 600 yards was 40-1.
Wow.
Those both would have cashed if they didn't pull them early.
Well, as always, shop around because the differences in the Coach of the Year market at various sports books, they're all over the map. Now, Mike Vrabel remains the short shot at every book. Here at Circa, he's minus 110. Did you see what they moved to with Kyle Shanahan last night?
I saw a DK.
William Hill Caesars, like not that long ago this morning, still had Shanahan plus 550. JVT and I talked about that today on the latest edition of Pod to the Futures, which is going to be out here sometime soon. Shanahan here at Circa is 2-1. He is the second shot on the board. Mike McDonald is plus 450 here. He was tied or ahead of Vrabel at some books before this week. They have 7-1 on Ben Johnson, and this is by far the best number I've seen anywhere on Liam Cohen here at Circa. They have 9-1. So if you are traveling out here to Las Vegas this week, or if you are in a state or nearby a state that has Circa Sports and you want either Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen, by far and away the best numbers. They have the shortest numbers on Kyle Shanahan. They actually have the best number on Mike McDonald as well. But they moved it 2-1. And I don't blame them because now it's becoming more of a narrative here in the media and people who have a vote saying that Shanahan has to be the guy.
Well, are they going to run the table, though? Can they win these next 2 games? I think they have to do that. There are 5 great candidates. Like Aikman's running it down last night with Buck. He's like, well, it's a shame. Only one guy can win. Mm-hmm. There are 5 great candidates. The Sunday night game's enormous for this market. The San Francisco-Seattle game will also be enormous, assuming San Francisco wins. What if the Bears run out? Who gets the 1 seed in the AFC? Is it New England? All this stuff is wild. And the Saturday afternoon game is so big with Houston and the Chargers. What if the Chargers are able to win the division? You know, Humans was making a case for Herbert MVP. Harbaugh's still 80-1, but there's still, even though we only have 2 games left, this is going to be wild how this could play out with all these markets and what's going to happen with the seeds. Even though 10 of the 14 spots are clinched, you have 5 newcomers, more on that coming up. But so much to be decided about who's going to get the 1, who could fall down to the 6 or the 7, and a lot can happen.
Who's the coach of the year if the Bears win out, take down that division, and Jacksonville's the 1 seed in the AFC?
Oh, I have to give it to Ben Johnson.
It's a phenomenal race.
I know.
You know, the Seahawks did win 10 games last year.
Fair, yeah.
They were not awful.
Right.
The 49.
That's a good point. That hurts them.
And there's also this, too. I think the number is completely wrong in the Offensive Player of the Year. I brought his name up several times. Christian McCaffrey is 10-1 at FanDuel.
Uh-huh.
Cannot be 10-1.
Fair.
There's no way, no how. He should be right behind Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka Nacua. And he is 151 yards receiving away from becoming the first player in the history of the sport to have 2 different seasons of 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in the same year. Now, is he going to get 151 over the next 2 weeks? I think that's very unlikely. And even if he doesn't, he is second in the league right now in yards from scrimmage. He's behind Bijan Robinson. But he also has 92 catches, and he has 16 touchdowns overall after scoring 2 more times again last night. I just think 10-1 is way too high on Christian McCaffrey right now to win this award. And then your guy, Jonathan Taylor, I mean, the game plan was weird last night.
It was.
You going to draw a line through him now?
Yep. What do we do with Rivers props moving forward now? Is that how they're going to play now, moving forward? Chuck and duck? Go shotgun?
I don't know.
Because I think...
Too difficult to predict.
Yeah, you're right. It's one thing to go against that San Francisco defense, which is bad, but they have so many injuries, I give them a break. Now it's Jacksonville. After that, it's Houston. Still not eliminated. That's why this game is so important Saturday. If the Chargers win, then they play Denver for the division, and then Houston still has to win, assuming the Colts don't upset Jacksonville. But that game, if the Colts upset Jacksonville, suddenly that's a playoff game Week 18 if the Houston loses to the Chargers.
Right.
But it's a whole different ballgame. If you're going to run that offense and you're taking on Jacksonville, you saw what they did to Herbert, and then you have to take on the Texans. So that's where it's just, I can't believe he waited till the third quarter to blitz, and the guy can't, there's no mobility, 0.
Yep. So overall, I would think that last night, knowing what we know right now, and we never saw that game plan coming last night, but last night was the game to ladder Phillip Rivers. I say that because he closed at around 160 passing yards. So now after last night, there's going to be a pretty decent adjustment against Jacksonville. And I say that because Jacksonville is great at slowing down the run. They are a pass funnel defense. Mm-hmm. So if that was their game plan against the 49ers last night, to not even really attack it with Jonathan Taylor and to go on the air, it's probably going to be similar. But now rather than 160, and by the way, the Opta AI stats at vsin.com, they loved him like last night. And if you laddered him, good job. You came in big time. I definitely did not. But in theory, he's going to be able to have a decent game passing the ball against this Jacksonville defense as well.
Plus 250 last night to have 200 yards passing. Plus 550 to have 100 yards passing each half.
What was he to clear 250 or to clear 275?
Big one. I know. Yeah. But that's going to be interesting to see how they adjust his numbers now after that performance and just, throwing it so much and getting away from the run. The other thing is, how is that not a touchdown to Tongas?
No idea.
I know somebody who had 18-1 anytime, and our producer, you can bet this stuff in play at Will Hill and Caesars, the exact outcome of the drive. He had that exact, what was it, the 8th drive, whatever?
It was, yeah.
Tongas touchdown on the 49ers' 8th drive, 50-1.
Yeah,
where's the expedited review? What are we doing here? That's a touchdown.
How did that? They never took another peek at that. He had 80-1 on it.
Oh, 80.
So you can bet like seven touchdowns were scored in the game at that point. He bet which player is going to score the 8th touchdown. He took them. That, to me, looked like a clear touchdown.
It was.
And not even discussed, talked about. No, let's go to the replay again and check it out to see maybe if that's another score for the 49ers. What?
Let Shanahan know. What's the staff doing?
Well,
Where's the expedited review? What are we doing here?
This continues to be way big of a problem in the NFL. Yeah. I mean, just like the explanation at the end of the Lions game the other day, it took 5 minutes, guys. Come on.
Yep.
And the explanation in the booth on the actual TV broadcast was way better. It was clearer, more concise, and they got it out right away. And then we're still waiting like, guys, okay, the dude in the booth just told us. And then how the lead referee that day came out to explain what happened, he had no idea. He's all over the map. First of all, he says it's a touchdown, and then Lions fans go crazy. Oh, hold on a second here, but it doesn't count, and here's why. Like, oh, really? This is how you're going to explain it to the crowd and people, like the tens of millions of people who are watching it? And by the way, the bettors who are involved across the board as well, and nothing last night? It's way too confusing in this sport.
Come on, you do your homework. You see Kittle banged up. You go for Tongas anytime you see the big return. He makes an unbelievable catch, and they blow the call. And they review everything, and they don't jump in here.
That had to be 6. Had to be.
I will say this, though. I don't know even if they can get the 1 seed, they can't stop anything.
No,
Humans was right about, look, they win in games, but look at the schedule they're playing. Look who they're going against. And you saw the Rams game at home. They can't stop a damn thing defensively.
Up next, 3 bowl games on today's slate, including one in action as we speak. And I have some phenomenal trends tonight in the NBA that I'll share with you coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks to Michael Harrison for tagging us during the break on X, at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. This was taking off on social media last night. There was a bettor who had a 3-leg parlay, anytime touchdowns.
Oh, no.
Alec Pierce, first scorer of the game, DeMarcus Robinson, and Jake Tongas.
Oh.
$40, paid $50,000.
Oh, he's got to be sick. Come on.
That's absolutely brutal.
Yep.
Okay.
Sick.
We're playing a bowl game right now. We're in the third quarter. Louisville leads Toledo right now by a score of 7-3. Louisville has a 2nd and 5, about 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. This is the Boca Raton Bowl, and they're at their own 30-yard line, we'll call it. I don't have any action on this game. Do you?
No.
Okay. How about coming up? There's a game kicking in about an hour and 15 minutes, Western Kentucky against Southern Miss. Now, the Southern Miss coach is gone. Charles Huff went to Memphis. Other than that, in this game, it's kind of refreshing. You're not going to get a lot of opt-outs. Don't have a lot of transfers. The Hilltoppers now played a very weak schedule, 139th overall SOS per Jeff Sagarin. Southern Miss 113th. And it comes down to maybe quarterback play. Braylon Braxton, very good for Southern Miss. 65% completion rate, almost 2,800 yards, 23-7 TD to INT ratio. And freshman Rodney Tisdale took over for Western Kentucky, 9 touchdowns, 6 INTs on the year. Southern Miss laying 2.5 in the game.
Well, it's with Huff leaving and taking the Memphis job, and then you wonder how these kids are going to respond. Anderson is the interim. It was a good job at Utah State with his experience. 5-6 point move in the game now. This one's difficult, and I could see points in this game as well. And also you're spot on about the SOS that both schools played as well. 8-4 against 7-5. But to me, too many unknowns here is again Huff, who's one and done and packs up and leaves after he goes from Marshall to Southern Miss and takes most of his players with him, and now Southern Miss to Memphis after the season they had. And great turnaround because they won one game the previous year. Excellent coach.
All right, well, that's normal nowadays. Hey, coach going to leave a team to go take another job somewhere else. What's not normal is what happened with the Ohio situation. Their head coach, he was dismissed leading up to this game. Some controversy. Players came back, found out the coach was suspended. They didn't know why. Then a couple of days later, found out that he was fired. Ohio is a 6.5-point dog tonight to UNLV. The school then released head coach Brian Smith. He had been reprimanded several times for consuming alcohol in his office at the football facility, then found out that he was having improper relations with a student as well. Mm-hmm. So he's bye-bye. UNLV's laying 6.5.
Was he putting coffee in his alcohol in the coffee? I mean,
I think that's the way it sounded, yeah.
My dad used to do that but my dad used to keep the Busch Light in the vodka in the drawer in his office. But this guy's a football coach. My dad is operating on people.
Your dad was a surgeon.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your big boy.
So he would explain that again. How would he do it in his office?
He had an office and he had a desk, and in the bottom drawer he would keep the Busch Light and the bottle of vodka. And then one day the nurses, because remember, if you're a doctor, you're on call. So at any time of night they can call you, and he would sit there when the phone would ring and he'd wave my mom off. I'm not home. Because if she answers, yeah, he's here, he's got to go in. But he's been drinking all day.
Oh, boy.
And then one time, for whatever reason, he went in and the nurses could smell alcohol on his breath, and then that was it.
That's how he got canned?
Yeah.
Right there. You're one and done at that point.
Yeah, so I don't know, this is the speculation, but he was putting, hard alcohol in the coffee. And then it's like, or you can't just be, what are you going to crack a beer when you start the day out watching film? I mean, wild stuff here.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, but that's, to me, it's got to be UNLV.
It's UNLV or nothing, I think, in this game.
3.5 up to 6.5. Dan Mullen, 7-3 in bowls. Both defenses are bad. And UNLV was starting to turn it around defensively, and then the Mountain West title game happened against Boise, which is horrendous because you saw how Boise played against Washington in the LA Bowl, but giving up more than 6 yards per play. Parker Navarro, a good quarterback, but I would expect UNLV to get what they want offensively, also against a bad Ohio defense, and this is where I'll trust Mullen. And also I think it's important, a 10-3 season, that they can go and equal their most wins of a season, which they had last year, which was 11. I think that's a big deal. Yeah.
Yep, and not a lot of chaos here, not a lot of transfers, not a lot of opting out. So I think they're going to come into this game a little bit later on tonight, super focused, wanting to take care of business. And look, I think if UNLV wins, Pauly, it's going to be in a bloodbath. And that means that alts are going to come in.
Yeah.
That's how I think that their path is going to go. I also, if you want to flip it, if Ohio State keeps it close, don't we think it's going to be lower scoring? I know it's UNLV's defense we're talking about here, and they were one of the best over teams in the entire sport for most of the season. 65?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just several ways to skin a cat here, but...
Yeah. I know it's hard to get involved in rushing props for college quarterbacks as well, but I would think Parker Navarro can eat on the ground for Ohio with his rushing yards. Maybe you could ladder that, too. It's something you can look at. Both quarterbacks are great running in this game coming up later tonight.
Yeah,
but certainly unfortunate how you laid it out, though.
Yep. All right. NBA tonight, let me give you some trends that we have going in these games. It's a massive schedule that we have. They don't play any games tomorrow, and then they obviously come back with the 5 games on Christmas Day. The Lakers are playing at the Suns. Lakers are one of the worst first-quarter teams in the entire league. They're 9-18 ATS in the first quarter. Not good at covering here. Suns are favored here tonight. And the Suns have had some pretty good performance. They had that one great performance against the Lakers a couple of weeks ago where they blew them out. I believe that was the Tuesday night Peacock game / NBC game. Any opinion here as the Suns are laying 4 in the game?
I got to take the Suns. No Luka. The Lakers banged up, and I'm sure they've circled the game on Christmas with the Rockets coming to town. So in the horrible NFL schedule, I think a lot of eyes will be on the NBA schedule, which is phenomenal, and the little rivalry they have now between the leagues. But this is also unfortunate where, I don't know if that's the right word, but Brunson's out tonight. A lot of teams are saying, we're not playing the guys tonight. We'll have them ready for the Christmas Day showdown.
That's right.
So, some key injuries here is the Knicks have a ton of guys out, and Luka got hurt in the last game, so a shorthanded Laker team. I like the Suns at home and the Lakers to regroup and then play the Rockets as a short home dog on Christmas. And then also the Knicks have been great. The schedule, so you win the NBA Cup out here on a Tuesday. Thursday, you got to go to Indiana. They win, don't cover. Brunson, it's a buzzer beater. We were so involved in the NFL, we couldn't get to it Friday. A horrible spot. Then they have to come back and play the Sixers at home, and they lost. But they've been so good, won 8 of 10. Offense has been clicking. But this is just, you have so many guys out. OG out, Brunson out, Minnesota, big favorite.
Yeah, the market has pushed Minnesota up to now 7.5-point favorites here. No OG, Anunoby, no Brunson, as you said. I don't know. I think the NBA is going to have to rethink how they schedule the entire deal now. If this is how teams are going to approach it.
Yeah.
2 days before, they're like, yeah, you're going to put a massive schedule on the slate, but you know what? Not a lot of guys are going to play. Okay. Rockets are playing at the Clippers. Don't look now. Clippers, they've been terrible this year, obviously. But when it comes to the derivative markets, the Clippers are 19-9 over in the first quarter this year, and they're also 19-9 ATS in the first half. They're also on a 9-1-1 straight up run and 10-1 ATS first quarter, I believe that is,
Strong.
for the Clippers.
Yeah.
So they come out of the gates. I've been noticing that too with their box scores. Like they've been on fire, but then they just can't maintain them. And it's actually maybe a good live betting angle here where if they get off to a good start again tonight, you can bet them early and then come back maybe and fire with the Rockets as the game develops a little bit.
No chemistry, no leaders. We mentioned that story on ESPN.com. Chris Paul and his wife threw a Halloween party in the arena. 2 people showed up. And it's just how bad they've been defensively, going from top 3 to one of the worst in the league. So I would think the Rockets can get what they want offensively too, and just between the Kawhi thing to start and how they handled the Chris Paul situation and how bad this team has been, one of the worst in the league. I didn't see that coming.
I did bet the Clippers +2 in the first quarter.
Okay,
based on how they've been coming out of the gates here recently. And there's something to watch. Memphis played last night. It's a back-to-back. Now they're also playing at Utah. Utah's no good, but they're feisty at home. And playing on the back-to-back has always been a thing, like in Salt Lake City or Denver. Tonight here in Utah, the Jazz in the first quarter ATS are 16-11. They're 12-4 ATS first quarter at home on the year. Also, they are 19-8 to the over in the first quarter and 12-4 when they're at home. In the first half, they're 18-9 over, and that's 13-3 when they're at home. Now, the rub is the first half total tonight's been bumped up to like 125.5. That is a massive number. So I did not bet the totals, but I did bet Utah early on in the first quarter.
If you go to vsin.com and check out the prop analyzer, which you should do every day, George is on a 22-6 over on points, rebounds, and assists for Utah. And then you got OKC Spurs round 2, and round 3 will be on Christmas. Yep. Spurs have won 6 in a row. Does OKC get revenge here? That's a lot of points on the road.
I'll give you this. Oklahoma City is 45-21 ATS versus a team that beat them in a previous matchup over the last 3 years. So like the last time that they played, they meet again, boom, they take care of business. That's an awesome number covering these games.
103 is a defensive rating. Astonishing what they've done defensively this year with this incredible start.
Longtime Las Vegas odds maker Nick Bogdanovich on the program coming up next. We'll discuss quarterfinal matchups in the college football playoffs next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Right now, the best time of year for bettors in the all-new Boomer Sportsbook. Bring in the action, football, hockey, basketball, and more. Use code VSiN250 when you sign up for a Boomer's mobile account. They'll match your first deposit up to $250 in bonus bets. $5 juice on all NFL games. Download the Boomer Sportsbook app today. Learn more at betwithboomer.com. Betwithboomer.com. The director of trading, our old friend Nick Bogdanovich, joins us down the progressive guest line. Happy holidays. Appreciate the time. Let's start with Friday night. What did you make of the fight and the equivalent of what the handle was with Paul and Joshua?
The handle was fairly weak would be my estimation. But, you know, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. If it was on the square, Paul had zero chance. I mean, the other guy's younger, bigger, stronger, and a true boxer. I mean, that's what he does for a living. And, you know, the other guy's just a tough guy who's, you know, a cult following. So, yeah, it was exactly what I thought it would be. And it was like stealing money if you bet Joshua. Why do you think it was so low with the handle? Because you had a playoff game, or just the big odds in the fight? Because I know one person at Caesars over there said it did the same action as that bowl game that day between Memphis and NC State. Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't see the hype around it like, we were talking off air about like the McGregor crossover. This here, it had a little interest. I don't know if it captured the public's interest just because, the public over here in the U.S. really doesn't know Anthony Joshua, and he's long in tooth as well. He's 35 or 36, and the price was huge. So the only way the public could bet it was a small bet on the 100 to win 1,000. So they weren't going to lay 12, 13, 14 to 1. But anyone who, I mean, it was like stealing if you wanted to bet Joshua. You just had to hope that no shenanigans. There was no rules in place saying, you can't not take me out in the first 2 or 3 rounds and then yada, yada, yada. But yeah, no, it was a farce.
That's a good word for it. Repeatedly trying to tackle him. I was stunned by that as well. How big was the JMU backdoor cover?
Yeah, that was good for the book. But there was good two-way action on the game. It wasn't a big decision by any stretch of the imagination. There was groups out there taking 21.5 with JMU, so the public was definitely on Oregon. Yeah, it was a bad beat if you had Oregon for sure. They got up like I thought they would, and then they called off the dogs and went to sleep. I mean, JMU ran up 500 yards of offense. They're a nice, solid squad, but I think if Oregon had kept their attention span the entire game, they could have named the score.
How about to the quarterfinals now? What do you make overall of this Bama-Indiana number? Hoosiers, about 6.5-point favorites here. Like if they were playing in the regular season and they did not have the same names on their jersey, Alabama and Indiana, do you think Indiana would be higher?
Could be. We opened 7, went down to 6.5. We're back to 7. Should be a hell of a game. I hope Indiana houses them just for sentimental, just to make me happy. I'd love to see them absolutely trounce Alabama because they're owed one. I mean, Alabama is the embarrassment of riches. Saban won 1,000 titles there. They get every 5-star blue chip, and they get every favorable decision there ever is made when it comes to scheduling in these playoffs. So. I hope Alabama gives them a beating they deserve.
Any other number in the quarterfinal matchups where you're like, not so sure about that number. Mine's a little bit different.
No, not really. At this time of the year, if you're just going off of pure power ratings, they're all within a point or two. I'd love to see Ole Miss rattle Georgia's cages. Same thing. Georgia's won enough. Ole Miss is playing without their coaches, and Chambliss is fun to watch. And I think Ole Miss definitely can beat Georgia in this game. I mean, it's going to be a wild scene in the Superdome in New Orleans. So, I think Ole Miss is really live in that game.
This is unfortunate. Can you make the case for a dog on Christmas where all 3 home teams are going with a third-string quarterback?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, we opened Dallas 5.5. It's up to 7. Detroit game hasn't moved much just because Detroit is crippled up defensively, and Minnesota's defense may be able to keep them around. Who knows what the backup's going to do? McCarthy's definitely out.
Yep.
I call him Pierce Brosnan, but Brosner's going to play. He got thrown to the Wolves at Seattle in his first start, and he looked absolutely horrible. So he'll never, ever look that bad again. Now he's at home. They'll be able to run the ball a little. He'll look serviceable tomorrow, or on Thursday. So okay. I think that'll be a competitive game. The Denver KC game's a joke. I mean, KC's missing every single offensive lineman. Half their receivers didn't play last game. And they're meaningless. So out of pure pride, I mean, it's Arrowhead. They don't want to be embarrassed in Arrowhead. So I think they'll try like heck, but it may not be enough. But there's 3 bad games to say the least.
Biggest home dog ever in Chiefs franchise history. Circa Survivor, $18 million on the line. If you had to play, and it's 5 people have this conundrum, if you had to play Washington or Minnesota, who would you go with?
If you had to play Washington or Minnesota?
Yeah, 5 people can only use an underdog.
Wow. Wow. You know what? If Marcus Mariota was playing, I think Washington would really be live, but he's not. So I'll go Minnesota. I'd have to take Minnesota for sure.
All right. What do you make of the bowl games that we have coming up today? Western Kentucky, Southern Miss. Southern Miss laying about 2.5 or 3 in the game. Obviously, shop around. UNLV and Ohio here, the local team. We talked about this game previous segment, Nick.
Yeah.
UNLV 6.5. Ohio in a little bit of turmoil with the head coaching position. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it was a good game. Obviously, the line went up, I think, just because of the coaching situation. Ohio's played some really good games this year. They got a good offense. Obviously, the total 66. That's going to be a good bowl game. The other one I don't understand. We opened Southern Miss 4. Now the others, Western Kentucky 4. Now Southern Miss 2. 6-point move. I'm not sure why. I don't know of any 86 portal transfers for Western Kentucky, but Southern Miss has been bet really, really strong. But yeah, no, look, not even interested. I won't even watch the game. I mean, these bowl games are so unwatchable. It's not even funny, but I definitely will watch the UNLV Ohio game. That one figures to be entertaining.
Is that something that you're hearing from, people who been around in this racket for a long, long time, that the betting interest for most of these bowl games, I mean, it's completely dwindled compared to what it was 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago?
Oh, 100%. It's not even close. I mean, the Southern Miss is an example. What about Louisville-Toledo? I mean, the game went from 6 to 11. I mean,
yeah.
Toledo's two first and second string quarterbacks decided not to play. I mean, it's not good.
Great job, my man. Happy holidays. Get some rest. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Have a great Christmas.
Thanks,
Learn
Nick.
more.
Same to you.
BetWithBoomer.com. Code VSIN250 when you sign up for an account. BetWithBoomer.com. 20 to 3 now. Touchdown Louisville. This got to 13 in one spot.
Oh, yeah.
And Louisville is putting it on Toledo. UNLV there are 7s at Fanatics and South Point now on that game coming up later against Ohio.
What do you make of that angle that I brought up last segment? Like, if UNLV wins this game, they're not going to just barely squeak by to cover.
I like that, yeah.
It's going to be...
I think it's correlated, too.
Yeah, we're talking about like a 3-touchdown win potentially here.
Yeah, yep. Right. What would you do if you were still alive on Thursday?
Okay, assuming that it's Josh Johnson?
Yes. We know it's Brosmer. We know it's third string for Kansas City. It's got to be Johnson.
I would not be sleeping this week, put it that way.
Yeah. God.
At all. So I would like to play against Dallas, but Josh Johnson changes things. I would also like to play on Minnesota, but we saw it with Brosmer against Seattle. Oh, boy, that was vile and nasty, man. So it's a total dilemma.
I know.
I honestly would not be sleeping at all this week, and it would just be killing me on the inside, not knowing what to do. It's all I would think about.
You got one guy who's making his second start, and Detroit still alive, needs it. The other one, you got a journeyman, though, and he's been 14 different teams in the league. But I guess from also a game theory standpoint, you have to use Washington because 5 people will be on Dallas, and you pick up so much equity. But the other thing is, like, what the hell are you going to do for a hedge? Look at these lines keep going up. They're like 330 on the money line. Yeah. You made it this far, $18 million on the line. You got to use a 7-point dog. Brutal.
That hurts. That hurts. No matter how you plan it out. I mean, unless you somehow stuck with Denver, nobody did.
No one has Denver. No one has Detroit. Yep.
Sure.
One person has Kansas City. You're not going to use them.
Does that speak to how important it is to save as many options as possible and that's why it makes it such a tricky contest.
That's right.
Up next, you're not going to believe the props that cashed last night for Monday Night Football, and Pauly's going to tell you about a 60-1 ticket that would have if the Colts kept Phillip Rivers in the game. Next here and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Of all games where the props went crazy and a lot of big tickets cashed, it was that one last night with Rivers. First touchdown, Pierce, 25-1 at Circa. anytime, 4-1. Robinson, 6-1 anytime. Touchdown on the Niners' first drive, 30-1. A same-game parlay. Purdy, 3 touchdowns. Rivers, 2, 12-1. Purdy, a touchdown every quarter, 25-1. I didn't see what he was, 5 touchdowns. Mercy. Rivers, 200 yards, plus 250. 100 yards each half, plus 550. Will the team score 40 points, plus 650? Will the team score in all 4 quarters? Jets, plus 850. Both teams score all 4 quarters. Defensive or special teams touchdown, plus 280. I play this all the time. I didn't play it last night. Touchdown and field goal each half, both teams. Bam! 15-1. This is ridiculous. Of all games, right? All that cash.
Well, if you play it all the time, eventually it's going to pop, and it's going to come from the least suspecting games that you're going to, and probably give you better odds, by the way.
I know. Yeah. Cavs, Hornets over, 234 up to 240. How about 139, 132? Hornets get the money.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Cavs failed to cover yet again.
Yeah, talk about that coming up. BYU over, 160 up to 168, 109.81. Cal State Northridge over, 158 up to 164. They scored 100. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, send in your videos. Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram like Laura did. Phenomenal job here. This is Laura, Curtis, and Bella. Drummond Island, Michigan. How smart is Bella, the dog? Barking. He wants to open the gifts, and he knows he likes Christmas time. Let me at him. And Laura's telling Bella, no, you got to wait. You can't have them now. And how smart is this guy that he knows? He keeps barking and talking to Laura about, let me at him. I want to open my gifts. He gave me one. I want him now. He says, no, you got to wait till Christmas. Come on, Bella. Come on. Look at this dog. How smart is he?
It's almost like the video we had yesterday. It's 5:58. Dog's hungry. They always eat at 6 o'clock. It's time. Come on. Feed me.
That's right.
This guy's the same thing. Give me the presents, damn it.
Love it. Thank you, Laura. And send them in at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. The second the dogs hear anything, but when I open my refrigerator, if they come. And our buddy Stevie Cohen pointed that out. Hippos are dangerous. When we showed him fighting outside that restaurant, but look at this. I love this where you see this guy scooting, where it's anytime I open the fridge, here comes my dogs. When they hear coming and hauling ass. Jordan, anyway, you think he's sleeping, and then he just cracked the fridge open. Next thing you know, he's right next to you.
Fridge, you open up you're trying to be quiet, and you open up like a small bag of chips, whatever it is, anything that makes that noise, they come flying in.
You got it. Look at that guy scoot. Look at that hippo. Oh, that's awesome. Nuggets, Jazz over. 244 up to 252. No good. Cavs did it again. 8-22 ATS, worst in the league. Talked to our guy Tony Rizzo today in Cleveland. Not good. There's this disconnect with Atkinson, the head coach, after he was awesome last year.
Now, how does that happen?
I know. They had the best record. They were the 1 seed, and now they're sitting there like the 7-8 seed. They're horrible ATS, and there's some kind of a disconnect. Quote, Gilbert, the owner's aware of it. He had to come out and say he's not on the hot seat. Why would he be on the hot seat? Have they tuned him out?
This whole thing sounds preposterous, man.
Come on, guys. Well, they shouldn't be 2 games over 500.
Oh, no, not at all.
I don't care who's
the
out.
struggle has been real.
Yeah. Bad beats. Luke, our producer. 49ers to have a touchdown on their 8th drive. Tongas, 80-1. That should have been a touchdown. Where's the review? Anytime, 16-1. Ozzie had 18-1. Vicious. Rivers, 150 yards passing each half, 60-1. He gets it if they don't take him out. Purdy and Rivers, 600 yards combined, 40-1. That also would have cashed. And a vicious beat in hockey. The Flyers' total was 5.5. It was 1-0 in the third period. 5-2 final. Get out of here. Where the line moves, sharp place is already there. They don't just follow the market, they help shape it. The Mr. Poison tweets, the first touchdown of the game updates. Connected. Great sources. AI plays up 50 units. Give them a follow. Get up there. Sharpplays.com. Jeff's been on the show many times. They do a great job. They've been at it since 2011. Trusted by books. Trusted by pros. Monitored by the books. Stay ahead of the line. Sharpplays.com.
Beyond Circa Survivor, do you know how difficult it is for like Circa Millions, Super Contest Gold, other ATS pick'em contests this week?
I saw the standings. They just tweeted it out here. Brutal. Money Gun Guns and Potato Commission are out of the top 10.
That's no good.
How life can change and how things can change after one bad week.
Just like that.
And we have a new leader as well.
But you have to come up with, you have 3 games on Thursday.
Yeah.
You have 2 on Saturday. and then you got the rest coming up, obviously Sunday, and then on Monday night, and you have all of these backup quarterback situations, do you just, like, what would be the game theory here if you're near the top? Do you take actually some of these teams that you don't think are going to be selected at all? Like, do you go to war with the Chiefs?
Try to find a, quote, square play?
Go opposite?
Yeah.
Like, how many people are in the contest are going to be on the Chiefs this week? Because then you have to have your play in by Thursday, and I think a lot of people are going to say, I'm going to completely avoid the Thanksgiving Day games, and maybe if you play them and if you take the dogs, you're going to be very small percentage of people probably in that same corner as you, and if you happen to cover, you're going to scoop a game.
You better love a game because you also, the uncertainty of so many teams with injuries.
That's exactly right.
Because you're pot committed if you use a Christmas game. But that's a contrarian play to take the Chiefs. The kid did run a lot at South Dakota State. Maybe you could look at his rushing yards over, but it's hard to see KC being competitive in that game with the kid making his first start against a nasty, it had been a great defense until the last couple of games.
And let me just point this out for people in the future. I guess maybe get ahead of it. Not that you can do anything about it right now, but what's it going to look like down the road when Christmas lands on Tuesday or Wednesday, and they're going to play 3 games on that day every single year? How's that going to go?
Yeah, they got to rethink that.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
I think there's a chance with what happened this year and all the backups, the viewing's not going to be close to what they were hoping for. I don't know if they're going to rethink it or not. They'll probably say this is a fluke. It's not going to happen every single year, so we got it. We're going to stick to it.
Probably.
Do you think more of your attention is going to be on the NBA or the NFL on Christmas Day? In terms of live betting, getting involved?
NBA.
Yeah,
also, we could have 3 blowouts. That's...
Yeah,
true. But that's right.
The quality of play on Christmas Day for the NFL, there's a good chance it's going to be really, really bad.
You made a good point. Who's to say Dallas doesn't shut Dak down in the second half?
Why? There's no point in playing him.
That could,
unless they want him to somehow, like, he can lead the league in passing yards this year. Maybe they want to do that. But
with what happened last night after the Colts loss, 10 of the 14 spots have been clinched. 5 new teams are in. Since 1990, at least 4 new teams have made the playoffs from the previous year. 37 years in a row. New England, Jacksonville, Seattle, San Francisco, the Bears. Carolina can still do it. And I know it's like 5%, but the Colts could still do it too. So we could get 6 new playoff teams. It's been 37 years in a row. That's incredible.
I'm still a little bit surprised. I have not bet it yet. Maybe I should, that the Buccaneers to win that division is priced where it is. And I get it. It's just you're doing the math here. They're a 6-point favorite this week. You expect them to win. And then they're going to be favored at home when they take on Carolina in Week 18. And then Carolina is a big dog this week at home to Seattle. But again, I will remind you, the Buccaneers have been dreadful for 2 months straight now. I don't even know if they're going to beat the Dolphins. I don't have any confidence to play them this week. So, and
I would think they should be able to move the ball. And
how big of a favorite would you make them Week 18 against Carolina?
Oh boy,
they were just 3 on the road and lost.
Yeah.
So it'll be higher than 3 is my guess but if it's like somehow like as high as 4 or better, Carolina has to be a play in that game.
Yeah. Especially if they hang with Seattle and Baker again struggles and they have issues with a passing attack. What's happened? Oh, that was ugly.
It's totally broken.
Yeah.
Can't get anybody involved other than Mike Evans 2 weeks ago, his first game back. Tough to watch.
0-7 ATS run. Man.
I think, though, we can say that the MVP is down to 2 people, Stafford and May. The Offensive Rookie of the Year is down to 2 players. That would be McMillan and Shuck. The Coach of the Year remains the most fascinating. And I do think Offensive Player of the Year is about 3 people right now. Look for a minute like Cook might actually get in the conversation. He was 200-1 or better than that on Sunday during the game. I don't think Cook's going to have enough time left to catch the guys at the top, but
yeah, to
me, CMC is right there with Puka and JSN.
Well, something we, going back to the games, a triple header, and we'll dive into the games tomorrow. 13.5-point favorite, 7.5, and a 7-point favorite. At least the books are getting creative with props and specials and all this stuff. What will happen in all these games, multiple touchdowns, who will have the highest points, fewest points, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have to show your creativity here, as you should, but you're right. They're going to chalk it up as a fluke, but boy, this is unfortunate.
I think the most unwatchable game is probably the Chiefs-Broncos game.
Yeah. That could be 20-0 right off the bat.
Master mixologist J.R. Starkus on the program coming up next. He'll whip up a holiday drink live on the air that you can easily make for Christmas to impress friends and family. That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.